Well, how about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms. We're back with another video today. As you can tell, I'm sitting in a little bit of a greenhouse. I'm going to show you our greenhouse today. Spring is right around the corner. I know it doesn't feel like it outside. It's cold, wet, and nasty. But it's time to get some seeds in the ground. And I'm going to bring you along today. I'm going to show you how I get seeds started, what I like to plant, why I like to plant them, and just kind of my favorite vegetables to grow and the process I take and to grow those vegetables. So y'all stick with us, and I hope you enjoy the video. So our little greenhouse, I think we got it from Harbor Freight. I'm not 100% sure. My grandma actually bought it for my dad, and what it is it's a 6x8 little greenhouse that you put together. Comes in a million different pieces. It is a process to put it together, but it's a nice thing to have. Before we were just kind of starting plants in the windowsills of the house, keeping them warm, and it was just a struggle whenever they germinated and got up and going to keep them warm. So it's really nice to have this little greenhouse. It's actually came in handy. This will be the second year that we grow plants in this greenhouse. But what we have, it's just got some plastic sides, and it's got a sliding door on the front, and it's just a little A-frame building. We did reinforce it with some boards. We had some panels flying out, and then I built some tables. You can see these are actually bread cartons. Local grocery store just had these sitting out. I picked them up and I built some tables out of them. They've got holes in them so it drains the water down to the bottom real easily. We've got gravel on the floor, and actually my dad actually has a couple plants started in here. And so this is what we'll be working in today. We'll be starting all my plants from seed in this greenhouse. I like to start my plants from seed. It's a whole lot cheaper than buying your little packs of plants. And also I just enjoy the process, so that's why I do it. So we're gonna get started. First thing we need to do is get some soil into our trays. And typically I'd normally use those little 4-packs or 6-packs or whatever I can get my hands on to do it. And Daniel Arms over at Arms Family Homestead, I've been watching a lot of his gardening videos, and I watch a lot of his videos anyways, but he has taught me into getting something, and it's kind of an investment. I think it was about $45, but I actually picked up a soil block maker this year. What this thing is, it makes 2x2 little blocks, and I'll show you how to use that. I have tested it out a little bit, but I haven't actually made any good blocks yet, so we'll see if we can figure out that today. And we'll be using this to just make your little blocks, put those little circles on the end of those blocks, put a little divot so you can set your seed in. So I've got some soil into a tray here. We're going to put a little bit of water in that tray. I'm using a local feed store sells this Fertilome seed and cutting mix. It's a real fine mixture, and we'll be adding some water in that, kind of make it clump up, and so it'll stick in these blocks. And basically the idea is you shove this thing down in there, you get your soil in, you come over to your tray and you deposit it out, and you've got a little block to put your seed in. You don't have these things flying around with the wind when you're planting and just a bunch of trash to clean up with. All you gotta do is set that block into the soil whenever you plant. So I'm gonna set the camera up, and we're gonna try to make some of these blocks. I haven't really made any blocks yet. I used some potting soil, and it wasn't really sticking together real well. I've got the fine mixture out now, so we're gonna try it out, and we'll see. I'm gonna bring y'all along with me on my first experience with it, so don't judge me too hard. So like I said, the first thing we're gonna be doing is making our soil blocks. Let's see. I need to add some water to this fine mixture just to make it clump up. I'm just going to add enough to where I squeeze it, it'll stick together, and that'll allow us to push our soil blocker down in there and actually grab some soil. So let me get some water in here, get it nice and moist, and then we'll be using that soil block maker. So as you can see, I've got that where it kind of balls up, so I think that's going to be good. Like I said, I've never done this before with the soil block maker, so we'll kind of see how it goes. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to press it down into the soil. And you can kind of see how it's filling up at the bottom there. So I think that's good. I'm going to get my tray. We're just going to put these right onto this tray. Looks good to me. So if you can see, let me see if I can hold one. So it deposits 4 at a time, and basically you get this soil block coming out. It's pretty tight. I probably could have made it a little bit tighter, but you have this little dimple in the top where you'll drop your seed, and then we'll sprinkle some soil over the top. And so I think that worked out pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that. We'll see how this goes, how our seeds grow in it. But I'm going to put the camera on a time lapse real quick, and we'll get a bunch of these made, and then we'll get to planting some seeds. So now that we got all our soil blocks made, I've got 48 blocks in each tray, and we're gonna go through and start putting some seed in the ground. I've got a list of what I wanted to plant this year and how many, and the date that I wanted to plant it. I was supposed to plant these on Valentine's Day, but we're a week late, so we're gonna get it in the ground today. What we're gonna plant today is some tomatoes. Let's see, tomatoes, garlic, onion, Brussels sprouts, and some radish. So we'll get them seeds going, and then I'll explain to you what I'm doing. So I planted 18 early girl tomatoes, and now I'm about to go with some Roma tomatoes. I'm gonna plant 10 of those, and all I'm doing is I'm putting 2 seeds in each of those divots that soil block maker makes, and then once we get this tray filled up, we're gonna cover it up. I'll show you how you're supposed to do that. Like I said, I've never used a soil block maker, so we'll kind of see how it goes. But we're going to get the rest of these seeds in this little flat, and then I'll show you how we cover it up. So I've got my Roma tomatoes and my early girls in this one flat. What I'm about to plant in the rest of this flat is some banana peppers, some bell peppers, and also some jalapeno peppers. We love peppers. We eat a lot of them. We use them for salsa. We use them for grilling, all kind of stuff. But if you've ever tried to plant peppers from seed, it can be kind of difficult. So there's actually another step that I've already done to these seeds to get them ready to go into the soil. And what that is I'll take a couple seeds, I'll put them on top of a wet paper towel, then fold the paper towel over on top of the seed and put it in a Ziploc bag. Kind of just soaks those seeds, lets them seeds get a chance to actually germinate. So now, and then I put them in a warm spot. It doesn't have to have any sunlight, just a warm spot in your house or in the greenhouse. And so they've been soaking for about a week. So we're gonna go ahead and pull them out today, throw them in some soil, and hopefully they'll germinate. So as you can see on this paper towel, these things have already sprouted, and so it'll make it a whole lot easier once they get into that soil to get going. We're just going to put them in there with just the tips of those leaves coming out, and from now that sunlight and this warm air in this greenhouse ought to help them grow. So we'll just go ahead and throw these in the soil real quick, and we'll keep moving on down the line. So now that we got all our seeds into these soil blocks, and it's time to cover them up, and all we're going to do is kind of slightly dress these soil blocks with some dry soil. Just kind of sprinkle it over. You just want to cover the seed. You don't want to get too deep, and so we'll just kind of sprinkle it. I saw where Daniel from Arms Family Home said he normally uses like a fryer spatula to kind of sift it on there, but I don't have anything like that today. So we're just going to kind of dress these as we go, and then we'll water them in, and these seeds will be good to go, and we'll get on to our other seeds. So just kind of, don't make it real thick, just kind of sprinkle it across, just covering the seed up. And I think these are good to go. About time for some water. So as you can see here, all the seeds are covered with a light dusting of soil on top. So I'm going to set these to the side. I've got more to plant real quick, and then I'll bring you back with me when we start watering everything in. I'll explain to you what all I planted and all. So I hope you're enjoying the video. Stick with us. Alright, so we got everything planted. Finally, it took a while, but we got everything planted. We'll walk through real quick, and I'll show you what I planted, how much of what I planted, and what we like to do with it. Everybody likes to do things with vegetables differently, so y'all leave it in the comments if y'all like a recipe with, you know, all the vegetables that we've used. But to start off with, I planted 15 Brussels sprouts. I'm really going to try to make my Brussels sprouts work this year. They grew well last year, even late into the summer, but they just never really started putting on the Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna do a little more research this year on Brussels sprouts and see if I can actually produce some this year. Moving on down, we got 24 spinach plants. I planted 24 hailstone radishes. If you haven't ever had hailstone radishes, you need to try them. They're kind of white and almost resemble a potato taste to them. They're really good. I need to do some more low carb stuff, so I figured, you know, make them hailstone radishes. Kind of use them as a potato substitute. We got some 24 romaine lettuce and 24 butter crunch. I really highly recommend butter crunch lettuce. It's really good. It's a good salad to use on anything, really. Then we like romaine as well. So going on down, I planted 18 garlic cloves. We make our own salsa, so I thought it'd be neat to be able to produce our own garlic to go into that and just use it for other things we're cooking. We're a huge fan of onions in our house, you know, whether it's sauces or anything cooking. We're gonna cook some onions. We love to grill them, so I planted 30 onions, sweet yellow onions, and then we have our 18 early girl tomatoes, 10 Roma tomatoes, and let's see, we've got 4 banana peppers, 8 jalapenos, and 8 bell peppers. We use a bunch of peppers. I really like to use pepper in deer meat. Whenever I grind my own deer meat, I like to add those peppers in there, just give it a little bit of a pepper taste. Whenever you make burgers out of it, or, you know, any cooking, we'll use a pepper in. So that's what we got going on right now. We're gonna be planting some more stuff in the next couple weeks. We just wanted to get these started right here. I'm gonna try to sell some tomatoes this year. That's why I'm starting my tomatoes so early. I think the trick to selling tomatoes is have them early and have them late. So we're gonna get some started early and see if we can't sell a few to pay for our garden. Some other things that we're gonna be planting in the next couple weeks is squash, zucchini, spaghetti squash, and let's see what else. that's about it for, in the next week or so. We'll plant those, and then we'll be waiting until we get our garden broken up to be able to plant okra and corn and watermelons, and we'll just see how it goes this year. I'm excited about gardening season this year. Ready for the cold weather to be over, ready to spend some time outside in the garden. I'm gonna have my garden at my house like I did last year, and my dad actually is gonna let me use a row in his garden. He's got a whole lot bigger garden, and he plants half of it one year and doesn't plant the other half one year, just kind of rotate, try to control those weeds in there, and he's gonna give me a row. It's about 150 foot. It'll be about a 150-foot row, and I plan on planting a bunch of tomatoes down here to try to sell. And then we're just gonna squeeze everything we can in our little garden at the house. And I think I'm gonna make some self-wicking tubs coming up, so we'll make a video on that. And I want to try to grow a couple things in those tubs around the patio. So I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. I hope y'all get a garden going. With the food shortage, with the coronavirus last year, and just all the stuff that's going on with the snowstorm and everything like that, food shortage again in Dallas, I think it's a great time to learn to be able to grow your own food. I take pride in everything I produce. I take pride in being able to grow and enjoy our own food, salsa, meat, vegetables, everything. I'm not a prepper or anything like that, but I do try to be self-sufficient. And so with that being said, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I'm gonna get everything watered in with a sprayer today, and then we'll use a water hose with a sprayer on it after these seeds come up. But like I said, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Leave us a comment if you like to play anything else different. We might try it. So I really appreciate it, and we'll see y'all on the next one.